Love is in the air. Love is everywhere. Go ahead and grab somebody and hug them. I don't think you should care. Welcome, everybody, to the Finding Mastery podcast. I'm your host today, Cupid, a.k.a. O'Neil Cespedes, a.k.a. the Love Doctor. This conversation for Valentine's Day is all about love and relationships. I'm very excited to welcome our two guests today. Your usual Finding Mastery host, Dr. Mike Gervais, and his wife, Lisa. How you lovebirds doing?
That was quite
That was the intro that I've been hoping for. Thank you.
It took a lot. It took a lot for me to do that. Now I can get back to my normal voice now.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
Different.
I'm excited to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Is it okay to be nervous?
No.
I'm a little nervous.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's the first time my wife is here joining us. And, when you sit next to a fire breather, a truth teller, and we're going to talk about relationships. Yeah.
Lisa, is that true? Are you a fire breather?
Oh, I don't see myself as that.
Yeah.
I just see myself as, trying to be truthful and find everything that's authentic and to be as authentic as I can possibly be. So I don't know, maybe that intimidates some, but.
Ooh.
Whoa, did I just? I didn't say intimidation.
Fired.
I said nervousness. That's good.
Oh, God.
That's really good.
Yeah. I'm soft on the inside.
Mike, I'm forced to side with Lisa. I believe her. I believe her.
I do believe her too. Yes.
That wasn't an answer out of fear, was it? That was truth, right?
No, this is like, how long have we been married? 27, 28 years?
Mm-hmm, something like that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, 1995.
Wow.
And our first date was in 1998. 87, I mean.
I was like, math?
Yeah, 1987.
1987.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's gangster. Well, let me get into my first question. And how did how did you meet and what attracted you to each other?
So we met in high school.
Okay.
Was like not a big deal. He was actually dating one of my friends.
What?
I can't believe you started
This is about to be so juicy.
That's so funny. Yeah.
But, I just kind of saw him and it wasn't that big of a deal. But when we first met, like when I think one of his friends introduced us,
Mm-hmm.
it was something like that was divine because I met him, I felt him, and I was like, ooh, that's going to be my husband.
Really?
Yes. And I was 15. So I knew nothing. I hadn't had a boyfriend. I was a dancer. I, went to school, left school, went to dance class, danced till 10, came home. Like I was not into boys at all. So it was something that was like, just kind of hit me. We just spoke here and there. He was totally uninterested in me. Totally.
That's not fair. I was more interested. I wasn't into like girls. We'll use that, like not women, but like I just wasn't into it yet.
Yeah.
I was like 15 or 16. I was way more interested in sport, surfing in particular. So it wasn't like, I don't think it was like not interested, but then I always thought, I'm looking at you now because it's weird to speak it to. I always thought she was smoking hot.
Yeah.
Like from the first time I met her. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope,
So it wasn't like I wasn't interested, but it was like.
If you were to see those pictures of me at 15, I can't imagine that he is saying that, but okay.
We should put one of those
I'll
up.
take
We should
it.
put some of those up. Yeah.
Can we do that? Can we put one of those up or no?
Oh, yeah.
I would have to look for one, but the hair
This is 1980.
Yeah.
The 80s hair was
The 80s,
real.
the Aquanet was going strong.
Oh, it
That-
was,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
had like this curl. It was, okay.
So wait a minute, I gotta ask, since you saw him and then you knew this was gonna be your husband, what happened to your girl he was dating? Did you walk over to her and was like, hey, yo, listen, that's gonna be my husband? So.
You know what? I don't know because I didn't pursue. I just knew. I don't know what happened there. I don't
Me either.
Mike, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, how many questions do we have like this?
I don't know. That was high school love or
Yeah.
relationship. So I'm sure it didn't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't anything dramatic or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
She just disappeared.
But I do.
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, it was early in us dating when somehow you said that. Like I had the feeling, or somehow that came out, and I was like, what is that?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story because maybe it speaks to a little bit of who I am. So I went home, and I guess my mom thought that, this is interesting. So my mom called his mom and had lunch together. And my mom says to her, so my daughter always gets what she wants. And my daughter apparently wants your son.
Oh my God.
I think is what happened.
Yeah.
And then I guess my mother-in-law was like, well, Michael's not really into girls, so he's into surfing. And I don't think this will go anywhere.
It did.
It did.
It did. Yeah. So that was like, but I remember the first time hearing that, like, what is that? Like, I don't know that type of feeling for anything. I'm not talking about romantic love or anything, but I don't have that, oh, this is it. It takes me a long time. I'm not blessed with this, like something washes over me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's more like I have to chip away, work, and I'm working from like an image that I'm seeing inside the stone to chip away, kind of like a David thing. I'm not saying I'm Michelangelo, but like that type of bit. And so that's like this great, I'm in awe of when she gets that feeling, and she has it all the time. I'm like, oh, pay attention. Like whatever it is, about a person, about an idea, about a feeling of a location we're in. It's really a cool gift.
So what was your first impression of her?
Smoking hot.
Yeah.
It was like, we didn't talk.
Yeah.
I just like, it was a, hi, how you doing? I was like, wow. And then after that, we started talking. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like she was just like, had all this really great positive energy, and everything was always good and up, and there was just no bite and no darkness and no kind of heaviness about it. It was always just like open and honest and bubbly, and that electricity about it. And so that was the early days for me.
Lisa, what was your first impression of Mike?
Oh my gosh.
Smoking hot, right?
Yeah, he was so cute.
Yeah.
He had like this blonde, long surfer hair, and he had like this beautiful skin, and he was just so cute.
I didn't get into puberty until I was like 18 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. My first zit was like in college.
No facial hair, nothing like that?
No.
Yeah, like barely.
No, my mom still gives him a hard time because our son now has more hair than Mike ever did at 15.
Yeah, right. This is her Cuban side of the family. Brought some hair. So I've got it somewhere there, the Italian side of me, but I didn't get it.
Okay, so who asked who out on a date?
Yeah, how did that work?
Yeah.
So Mike used to work at a gas station.
How about it?
Okay, he was 16.
Little red towel hanging from my back pocket.
Yes.
Ma'am, can I check your oil?
Yeah, okay.
Well, there's a lot of jokes in there, huh?
So I would make my family like, we need gas. We need to go get gas.
Okay,
so we would go get gas, and he would like wash the windows and fill the gas. And at the time, we were living with my grandmother because my parents had bought a house and it wasn't finished yet. And so we had moved in with my grandmother because we had sold our initial house.
Yeah.
And so it was literally across the street from the gas station.
Mhm.
So we would always drive by when I would go to dance. I'm like, let's drive by. Let's see if he's working. So one day I saw paramedics and ambulance, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And I see him like draped on a chair, ghost white. And he was pushed through a plate glass window, and it had cut the artery in his arm. And so I was like, oh, Mom, like something's going on. And so my mom was like, well, go say something, like go in there and make sure that he's okay. And so I was like, okay. So I go in there, as ungrounded and as ridiculous as you can imagine. I was like, hey, Mike, I hope you're okay. And I see that everything's like, what's happening here? And like, I was just an absolute mess. And then I run out, and I guess his dad was like, oh, okay, Mike, I think you've got an admirer here. And that was right before the holidays. And I guess after that, I had called you to see if you were okay. And then just like 6 weeks after that, it was cotton ball at school, which is like the Valentines dance. And he had asked me to cotton ball.
So wait a minute. Let's back. This sounds like a movie. For real. It's not like a movie. So we got to back up. First of all, how'd you get put through what happened?
I don't know. Two guys screwing around. I was in I was working at a gas station. I was like, I don't know, 9:00 at night, school night. And it was me and one of my good buddies, and we were in there screwing around. And one of us went through a plate glass window.
That's gangster.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know how. I wake up in the morning, every morning, and I do a little gratitude practice.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how I got here. Like there's a lot of suspect decisions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I just needed to know that because that was just so wild. Okay, the dance. The dance.
Yes.
Let's talk about the dance.
Yes. Cotton ball. I don't know. He came to pick me up at my grandmother's house. And, I'm Latin. I come from a Latin family.
Oh,
everybody's there.
Yeah.
My sister, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt.
They had
my
like
mom.
this balcony, right? And everyone's like leaning over the balcony.
Bring him in.
Yeah,
bring him in.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. It was a moment.
So he came to get me. He was nervous. I remember him giving me the corsage on my wrist. And then we went to the dance in his Mazda truck.
Wow. So wait a minute. Nobody checked him? Nobody
Oh,
was scared
no.
him
It was
all. Bit?
It was on. It was completely on. I mean,
Yeah.
there were like, I just remember it was crowded. And that was only because of how close they were standing.
Yeah.
And everyone was nice. There's no jerks in the family.
Yeah.
But it was like the Fuentes tribe
Yeah.
is here.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, yeah, there's a responsibility. Like there's more than Lisa here. And it's an awesome feeling to know that you've got that kind of sense about your family. And
Yes.
so it was on.
Like take care of our baby girl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like but it was kind. It wasn't like the big uncle, in the back, like, make sure, like, and I better not find. It was not that. It was
no guns waving around.
No one's showing, no. It's not none of that. It was just like a immigrant family that's like, we are here too.
Yeah.
Like in a grounded way.
And you weren't nervous.
Yeah, no, I was nervous.
You was nervous.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was a 16-year-old kid. I was an ungrounded kid in that way because I have an appreciation for getting out on the edge and trying things out and figuring it out. And this was all brand new. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I just knew that I had a black and white sweater and I was somehow told because I don't know how we coordinated that. I don't know. Was that luck or did
I don't know. It was, so my dress was
a black and white
sweetheart dress with like little polka dot mini skirt. And he showed up in a black sweater with little white polka dots. Like we completely
and I was like,
matched.
I was like, this actually fits, right? This works. And so, so it was that was the first kind of date.
Yeah.
And I mean, that literally is 30 some years ago, like today.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys remember every moment of that date? I mean, from the first dance, all that, or no?
No.
I remember a feeling. I remember the feeling with it, which is like there was just a feeling of fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't date anyone. Like really.
Yeah.
I had one other date before, or one other girlfriend like that. So, but it was different. It just felt like a fit.
Okay, so after that, right? After that, did you just organically agree, okay, we're together? Or did somebody say, hey,
how did that work?
Gosh, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, we were together and we, it was like so innocent, right? I mean, I was 15.
Yeah.
Like I never had a boyfriend. I had never been kissed. Like I was as green as you can be.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like it's not real, but it is. This is our life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then we were together and then he wanted a break. We broke up.
You wanted a break? Mike, come on.
There's a TV show about this somewhere, right? The Friends episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you wanted a break.
So he just came to you and said, yo, this ain't really working out.
Yeah. And I was
told you I was nervous.
Devastated.
I told you I was
You did it out
nervous.
of being nervous.
No, right now I'm nervous.
Oh no. Like, yo, listen, Lisa, I'm nervous. I don't know if this thing's gonna work out.
No, it was not that. Yeah.
Don't worry, Mike, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Trust me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so Lisa, I'm going to need you to talk to me about when he asked for a break. But Lisa, I don't want you to put Mike out there because I got Mike. So
yes, I've got his back.
Okay, we got your back, Mike.
She has for 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he just wanted a break. I get it. If I see our son, he's 15. If he wanted a break, I'd be like, take your break, dude.
Yeah.
But I was devastated. I was so heartbroken. And then this is where my family like huddles around me. They're like, you know what? He doesn't know what he's missing. And you're better than him. You know, that's just them trying to pump me up.
Yeah.
And they were really good. They were supportive. They said, you go about your business now. You do not pine for him. You need to stand up and you need to get yourself moving and get yourself going because you know what? You're 15, you know, you can't be wallowing in this crap.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I
saw her talking to someone.
Yes.
It didn't work out right for him. You know, so I didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a weird thing because it's probably jealousy, you know, I mean, what else is it? But like, it was a weird thing that idea that sometimes you don't know what you have until you don't have it, that idea. But I saw her talking to another guy. And I was like, holy shit, like that ought to be me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that feeling. And so it was I think that was a really important moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny because why does it take that for us to understand? Why does it take, I mean, we act on it, obviously. You acted on it, but.
Yeah. I mean, I think at that age, I definitely didn't.
So young.
So young.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You know, I didn't know what good was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, you know. And so I feel like I don't know, I should default to you. Like I'm way better at that now. Like knowing how to cherish something.
Yeah.
I'm better at it now. I'm not saying I'm world's best, but I'm better at it now than I've ever been.
Yeah. I mean, we were so young.
Yeah.
But I had like that divine whatever in me because I was like, no, this isn't what's supposed to happen. Like so I was talking to someone, but
placeholder. Yeah.
Completely and totally. Because as soon as he came back, I literally left the guy at the tree. I was like, let's go.
Wow.
It was a tree.
Left him at the tree.
It was a tree.
Yeah.
At a party.
You know, a high school party.
Cold-blooded, but I like that.
But it's just,
it was pretty cool.
You know, Jesus.
Oh God, the innocence of it all. Like, we haven't talked about this for
decades.
Yeah, right. So it's kind of fun. I can go back right to that feeling of like being a little bit nervous, but also like, whoa, and walking up and being like, hey, Lisa. And then you looking at the guy and like, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go talk? It was something.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, okay.
Did you flex on him a little bit, turn around like,
yeah, I did.
Talk to the tree.
I was not that cool.
Well, he was like, that was his vibe back then. This guy fought with everything and everyone.
Oh, for real? For
real. He would fight like nothing I've ever seen before.
I know. You would not know that about me.
Wow. You want to talk about that a little bit?
No. Yeah. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh God. I'm just playing. We don't have to talk about Mike. We don't have to talk about it unless you want to.
It was, I was just an anxious kid that didn't know how to deal with that emotion.
Yeah.
So it came out as anger. Yeah. Like quick to temper. And
so it's
a bummer.
It's reasonable to say that perhaps, maybe, as you were walking away with Lisa, you turned around a little bit and said, man, talk to the tree. Partner.
Probably.
Right? Probably. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me be professional here.
Yes.
All right. I need you guys to share a memorable moment from your early days together that you believe set the tone for your relationship.
Well, I think that breakup kind of set the tone a little bit in it being a little bit more serious.
Yeah. Right. The stakes got real because like the taking for granted piece.
Yeah.
Something early that set the tone. I know one. Is that she was a dancer, really good dancer.
Yeah.
And this actually goes both ways. I've never had this thought before. So I would go, my thing was surfing. As soon as it get dark, call it 8:00, in Southern California. I'm running to El Pollo Loco or someplace like that to grab a little food.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I just plugged in, but that was the spot I would go to a lot. And then I'd run up to watch her dance.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm 16 watching her through this little kind of waiting room through this large window, watching her like do her chantés or whatever. Is that right?
Sachets.
Sachet, yeah.
Sachet.
Chantés.
Chanté is a little different.
I was watching her do a Shantae. Shantae. Nah, Mike, you got the wrong one, bro.
Okay. So
sorry, Lisa.
I'm watching her do her things across, and I'm like, man, like I was just like, I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
And so I would watch, her do her thing. But parallel path, I'd be surfing, and there was this hill and you have to walk down, I don't know, 2 football fields to get to the ocean. And at 4:00 in the afternoon, and I'd look up, or even like 2:30 when we're supposed to be in class, and look up, and her car is sitting there, and she's just hanging out watching me. And so it was like this, thinking about now the way that you support me and I support you, it was already there. It was just like loving watching her do her thing.
Yeah.
And then I can't speak for you, but I'm assuming that's why so that idea, and look, it's not, our relationship is enduring and not perfect. Like, we've been through lots of twists and turns. And so I don't want to paint a picture that it's 100% bliss. Like, it's been really hard in many ways, but that has stayed true over the years. And it's actually one of my biggest sources of regret, which I'm sure we'll get into. But that idea that, like, I loved watching you do your thing. And it was awesome to look up and see you, like, just see that red car of yours, and like knowing that you were just hanging out watching me do my thing was really pretty cool.
Listening to the both of you, listening to your backstory, your origin stories, I think it's refreshing, because in the world we live in now of instant gratification, or having the ability to be like, you ain't really working out, let me go to the next. You ain't really working out, let me go to the next, and so on and so on and so on. I'm not kidding when I say this sounds like a movie, something that you just script and it sounds fantastical. It shouldn't sound fantastical to us, right? Because ideally we would all like to have experienced what you guys have experienced.
I don't know. Yes, and I would do, because so we've got a 15-year-old son, and I'm not sure that I would hope that he finds his life partner at age 15, 16, right? Like, there's a real challenge in that. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that we met in purity and innocence, and like all of that is, I think, has been part of the broth of our relationship. It's been really good.
But we can say that now because we're on the other side
of some real shit that we had to go through.
Yes.
Right.
Because I think there's so much growth that happens in so many stages, that to be able to grow together but separate is really difficult. And
we grew so close together.
Yeah.
That it's almost like our roots were twined, as opposed to grounded, separate individual roots, strong trunk, and the branches touching, up in the skyline. That's what an image of a really healthy relationship feels like. But we had our roots wrapped around each other.
Yeah.
And that individuation required some separation. And that pulling apart the roots was really hard and necessary, right?
For sure.
So that those are important words: individuation and separation, so that you can be intimately linked and together.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is very rude of me. My phone is going off here. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
I'm not buying any of this.
I'm not selling this very well, am I?
Yeah. No, you're not.
Hold on.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. The question I have for you is, how were you able to keep your relationship together throughout high school and after that? Love you.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I want to know that too. So just let you just go ahead.
Okay. So what was the question? Because
No,
I
hold
love
on.
him.
I know without even looking at what's happening behind your eyes.
I can play it again. Let me play it again.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. What was the question?
Don't worry.
How did we do it?
How did you do it?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I honestly do think it was like divine intervention.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I've always felt like it was something deeper and not of this world that kept pulling us back together.
Yeah.
So I don't even know, because, it was hard for a long time and different points of our relationship. So I would say God definitely had his hand in our relationship, and it was probably to have Grayson.
Wow. Mike?
Ditto. I mean, I don't know another thing to say other than like, I could point to a whole set of like skills that we both have, but it starts with this ability to feel what the other person's feeling. And she had to teach that to me. Like, I didn't come into the relationship very skilled there. And so, and just watching you kind of feel all of it now, there's been so much good that's come from the work that we've done.
Yeah.
The real celebration, I think, is pointing to the work. Right?
Yeah. And I think being, we are different people. We go about things differently, but at our core, like what we want out of life and what we want out of a partner is the same.
Mm.
So I think that when there are times where, like, I have had it with him, that's just in the moment, because what runs deeper is that this person is like my person. He is my soulmate. So regardless of anything we go through, it doesn't matter, because the bigger picture is that our souls are forever connected. And that's really how I feel.
How has your understanding and your perspective of love evolved? Like you saying there's times when you've been like, I've had it. Let me try to give you the best example I can give you. Was there ever a time when you were like, I've had it, and then you really meant it, and you said it like 10 times, you're like, I mean it, I'm tired of your ass. And then it went from, I'm tired of your ass to, I can probably put up with you, to, no, I haven't had it. I feel like I've had it, but I haven't had it. I've been there before.
Yeah, no, I had it at 30.
Yeah.
So we had already been married 7 or 8 years. And, we were young. We were really young when we got together. And I was wanting to go in a direction that scared him. And he, was holding on, not wanting me to go in that direction because he was afraid. And there was just a lot of like turmoil within me, because I was like, I really want to do this, but I don't want to leave this person. And then finally at 30, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is just too much, and I'm not happy, and I feel like I'm too restricted.
Yeah.
And so I said, you have to leave, because I can't do this. And he left, and he moved out, and
Whoa. It wasn't that easy.
no, it wasn't that easy.
No, it wasn't like, okay, see you later. It was like, she was moving from dance to acting.
Mm.
And the roles that she was up for, to be like more concrete, was the leading lady stuff, which meant like romance with a leading man. And as a, 20-some-year-old dude, I was like, I ain't flying. I don't get it. No. And so, okay, that's fine. Like, but there was just tension in it. It wasn't like, hey, go get it. And I don't even know now, to be completely honest. If she's like, hey, listen, I'm going to go out for this. This thing landed in my lap, and me and Brad Pitt are going to be rolled up in bed, and there's going to be these amazing scenes. And like, I don't think you should come watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think I have a lot of respect for somebody that can, but then I have this other thought, like, maybe they don't really care. Or maybe I'm just really immature. There's a part of me that this is my deepest, maybe only regret that I really have in my life, is that I didn't have the wherewithal to say, follow your dream, get it, I got your back. It's hard for me, but I'm here for you, which she has done for me, full writ.
Yeah.
And so then we'll go back to the bedroom, and we're having a conversation. She's like, you got to go. I was like, no, we'll figure it out. She says, you said that before. And so there was, it wasn't like I just wanted to go, because I know that separation is the first step to divorce. And this was my partner, and I was selfish. I was the one that was scared. I was the one unsupportive, and almost like talking out of both sides of my mouth, like supportive, but not supportive. So she would go out on roles, but all this tension when she was going for the role, and you can't go kind of animate another character or, do the art if you've got this tension about what is Mike going to think. So I fucked it up big time. And I still say that with like this idea of regret is not a way that I want to go through life, because I wouldn't be, and we wouldn't be who we are without that situation, and without that tension. We probably needed some version of this to knock off the calcium to get down into the purity of the thing.
We went to therapy.
Yeah.
A lot of therapy. And like, it was really great because, and our therapist was so good. Her name was Nancy. And she just
was a wise woman.
Yeah,
period.
She really was. And she
highly trained and like incredibly wise.
Yeah. And what she gave me was time to just be, because I always feel like we need to solve this now. We need to do this now. We need to move on to the next thing. And she was like, no, just sit in whatever it is that you're feeling, going through. And she really slowed everything down. And then we were in therapy. And that really was a turning moment, I think, where then we were really locked.
Yeah.
Like we were like, at least in my mind, because I can't speak for him, but like for me, it was like I'm in it for life.
Yeah.
Like regardless.
And you feel
of
that. You feel that. I feel that. Like I felt that, and there's like this, like an incredible feeling when you know that that person has your back, is in it with you forever. And like, that is one of the greatest gifts you've ever given me. Like, I got you. And so if I'm not careful, I'm going to be like falling into 1,000 pieces here, of all the emotion that I feel with that. But I want to go back to that. So I called, it was about a month after, and she was in a dark place and I was scared. Right. So we're separated.
Yeah.
And
but you're still staying in contact.
No, like she wouldn't take my call.
Ah, okay.
Is that right? Is that how it went?
At the beginning, and then we got into therapy.
Well, that's the point I was going to get to is like I called and I said, listen, just one session. And she goes, I'm done. I'm telling you, I love you. You're a good person. I can't be me. And I can't do this anymore. And the line that killed me, like was written, the thing that you said to me that was like, you said it when we're in the bedroom having that like moment of separation or not, is you said, as your best friend, you have to listen to me. I can't do this. I was like, holy fuck. Okay. So then about a month passes and I'm calling and she's like, don't take my calls. And so I said, just one session. She goes, I'm not into it. Fine. Like I just kept kind of badgering her about it. Like, fine. So we show up and her full Latina energy, my Italian Irish roots. It was the first 15 minutes in, do you remember this? The first 15 minutes and the fevered pitch was on. And Nancy, a psychologist or a therapist, goes like, gets her hands out. Like she goes, okay, this is about as bad as it ever gets. So then there was this question. Do you remember the question? It was a key question for me. She says, I have two questions. Mike, you need to do some work, right? On yourself. I was like, yeah. Lisa, you need to do some work on yourself, right? Lisa goes, yeah. And then she says, okay, do you want to do the work with each other or do you want to do it with another partner? Because it's going to show up in your next relationship.
And that really is, I think, as a person that's been married for so many years, I think that is the one thing that relationships have that is like short-sighted.
Yeah.
Is that because I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this with anybody else.
Him just saying that made me think like, yeah, God, that's true.
Like, I mean, you can find someone else but this shit, the hard work, the relationship, I'm like, oh no, I do not want to do this with anybody else.
And that was that moment. I knew that I couldn't answer because like this was really her dictating our future in this moment. I was as vulnerable, as hopeful as you could be. And the answer was, I think, probably obvious to you, right? Like what I would have said in that moment. And that, I don't know how many seconds it took. It was the most exposed, vulnerable, like a disaster that I could, there was no strength in me, right? It was just complete transparency and vulnerability, just waiting for the answer. Because that was it. And this was this was session 1.
So that's, okay, thank you for saying that, because that's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
For all of us out there that are pig-headed and stubborn, and if our significant other told us, I'm done, get out, For all of us that would say, okay, I guess this is it, and that would go on with our lives and not make that call and not keep calling when she's not taking our calls. What made you do that? How did you build up the nerve and the strength to do that?
Well, you know what you want, you know. Like I knew what I wanted. I knew what was worth fighting for. I knew that like I wasn't done. I didn't do a good enough job. She deserves better. She's right. And so like I knew I had this idea, the vision that I would hope we could work toward, but it needed both of us. And so it was just like a function of clarity for me. It wasn't like ego and all that other stuff that normally might have gotten in the way when the mission is protection of self, then all the things that you are intimating would be present. Yeah. Like, well, okay, well, screw you then, or whatever, but that was not what was happening. It was something else, which is like, no, give me a shot because I know that I have an idea of how I could show up in a better way for you. And so that's kind of what was the driving force.
And Lisa, for you, what made you say, okay, I'll give it a shot, even though at first you were like, I'm done? What broke through?
Well, I think like how much he was willing to work, and I really do believe, and this is maybe me being naive, but like there are a lot of good men out there, but there are very few he has always known who he was. He was always different in that, and even though he says he was insecure and he was worried about what other people thought, there was always something secure about him that made him different from other people. He always followed his nose. He did what he wanted to do, selfishly at times, but like it was a quality that I was like, yeah, that's what I want, because he didn't do what other people did. He did what he wanted to do, he was true to himself always. And so when we were in therapy, him wanting to be better, I was like, yeah, this is worth fighting for.
And then just hearing you say that now, that's the thing that I was talking about that has been the greatest gift. And she just gave it again. That was it, which is she's not just seeing like the sturdiness of like the foundation. She's seeing the bedrock of which it rests on in ways that like, I want to be that person that she just saw. And I recognize that in me. And then, but when somebody else sees it, it's like, it feels different. Yeah. So that was the example of the gift that she's given over and over and over again. And she taught me how to do that for her. And then hopefully I'm doing that for people that trust me, to help them. And in every client relationship that I have where somebody is trusting me to help them through some sort of patch in their life, Lisa is in the room. She like the way I think about love is like there's a fullness to it. Like there's an animation that takes over me. It's like there's just a fullness of heart, but it's more than just like one region of the body. It's like a fullness. And every client that I've ever worked with, that insight, that feeling, Lisa is in the room, like guiding me in this weird kind of way. And so it's really like a gift that keeps giving. A pebble in the pond, when I talk about a pebble in the pond a bunch, like if we can be a heavy weighted pebble, create real ripples in the world. And so I don't feel like I'm alone. Just like her family had her back. I feel like together I've got another pebble that's like we're joined in this cool way, and I've got our whole family, my family. Like there's a different type of weight that comes with it. When somebody says, I can get past the color of your hair, the whatever body that you pretend to be in, and get right down into the bedrock of the person that is always been there when you were 3 and 13 and 23. And like that part of you I see. And I don't know another way to say thank you. Like it's funny. It's like, I really mean everything I just said. Like, thank you. And then I've got this other part of me was like, man, we are in the world of cheesy quickly. Right?
Well, no. Not when you hit the Shantae thing. You took us out of there. Shantae took us out of there real quick. Yeah. Are you guys best friends?
For sure.
For sure. 100%.
So with that being said, the corny saying about they say you should marry your best friend. Do you believe that?
I don't know. I mean, we became best friends.
Yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't like that early.
Oh gosh. Again, it's that divine thing, because every friendship takes time, right? Yeah. It's a relationship that takes a piece of you. And
what do you mean by that? Takes a piece of you?
It just takes it takes energy. It takes a want. It just takes a piece of you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I don't give that up freely to people. I don't have many friends because he is my best friend. This is who I pour into. Yeah. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't trust him 100%, regardless of what would ever happen or whatever. I trust him in this moment. I trust myself most of all in this moment. And I don't give that up to just anybody.
I love that statement. I'm the same way. I don't throw out this is my friend or best friend or good friend freely. I trip when I see people do that. I'm like, just met him a couple months ago.
Totally.
How you say you love him already?
I think it requires incredible time under tension.
Yeah.
To be like, to trust somebody. Yeah. And so some people are like, trust is earned, trust is given. I think it's got to be earned. Time under tension. Like, who are you when it gets heavy? What happens when you've got, this option or that option? Which one do you take? And like, it takes time.
Since you guys are best friends, Mike, would you bring Lisa around your boys? Lisa, would you bring Mike out with your girls?
Oh, totally. We've done it our whole life.
For real?
Yeah. For real.
I need a story. I need an example.
Yeah, we just it was always Mike and Lisa. Matter of fact, when we got married, this was even, maybe that's not the best example. The Monsignor was up there and he goes, how do you put it?
He goes, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Gervais, but they'll always be Mike and Lisa to us.
Yeah, right. Like we would roll with each other.
Yeah.
And that's where it got dangerous though, because we were with each other so much that there was that commingling.
Yeah.
And that commingling, actually, we had to separate at one point. And so I wouldn't advise it too early is our point. I would advise a path of whatever age, it doesn't matter. Know yourself.
Okay, but
to really know yourself.
But I also think in order to fit into the boys or the girls or whatever, I think you have to be comfortable within yourself to be able to commingle with the boys. And I mean, I don't know. I think we're just living our life. So we come as a package deal. That doesn't mean that he doesn't go, because sometimes I'm like, you just go. I don't want to go to that thing. You go do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%.
But we're just like a package deal. We like to hang out.
So has there ever been a time when you're hanging out with Mike and his boys and you're like, man, this was a bad idea. I just want this to be over.
Oh, yeah.
And vice versa.
But I say I have a big mouth. I mean, I've gotten in fights with his really good friend, Keith, screaming at each other.
What's up, Keith?
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith.
We love you, Keith.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it is what it is.
But they become friends. Like it's part, so I think the separation, guys and girls, or men and women, I don't know. I don't totally get it. I've got guy friends, don't get me wrong. And like, we'll go do stuff and it's all fine. But like the core is the core.
Yeah.
Well, I hate it's a guy's thing. I'm like, fuck off. Okay. You won't be seeing us much because I just hate that machismo attitude. Yeah. It's like, if you can't do it in front of me, then we got issues because I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, we're done.
That's a great point.
It makes it hard to hang out with that guy too. If that's a kid, right?
So you've had to give her like, listen, bro, you can't come. Lisa don't like you. You can't come around. You can't come around no more.
Yeah, right. Like that's a problem.
But I back it up with evidence. I'm just not like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's evidence. Like,
oh, so you've told him before, like, I don't like such and such.
100%.
Okay.
Are you talking about to me or to the guy?
No. Like, has she told you like a friend?
To the friend.
Yeah. Or to the friend or to you? To you,
to you about somebody.
And to the friend. This is not just like a behind the scenes type of thing.
No, she says it to the friend.
She's a fire breather.
Okay.
This is a truth teller that says it. Yeah. So, sorry.
Lisa, you are a gangster. So you look him in the face like
honest.
Just
I
honest. Wow.
I do. Yeah, and everybody usually says, man, I love that about you until it falls on them.
Yeah.
And then, it's like they get intimidated, but whatever. It's all good.
It is. It's hard. Hearing truth when you don't want to when you don't necessarily want to hear it. It's hard. It's just hard. It doesn't mean that you're right.
Right.
It just means that we need to talk about something because there's something happening. And so here's my experience or my point of view, or here's how I feel. And so it's not like, what's wrong with you? It's more like, hey, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
It feels like there's something shady.
Yeah.
Or to use that example, I don't even have a real example in my mind, but and so I'm just telling you that that's the way it feels. And I don't know if that's what's going on or not, but that's just how it feels for me.
I think that's amazing. I appreciate that. I mean, you want a straight shooter rather than you just saying it to him
But people say they want a straight shooter, but then when delivered a straight
my
shot,
circle is real small because I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cost to it. Yeah. It's so much easier to bounce on the surface and just be kind of like happy-go-lucky and easy and whatever, and always be liked and make everyone feel happy. And the people pleaser thing. It's so much easier at some level socially, but the cost of that is incredibly high as well.
Yeah.
So
it's draining. It's daunting and draining. What would you guys say to folks out there right now that are going to spend Valentine's Day alone, right? The people that are like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, it's cuffing season. I need to see somebody. What would you say to them?
I'd say love yourself. If you're by yourself on Valentine's, do something for yourself. I think it's really important to be able to sit within yourself, love yourself, and then go out with friends. But the number one thing is you have to love yourself, I think.
Yeah.
We talk about relationships a lot both in Finding Mastery, and it starts with your relationship with yourself first, and then with others, and then with, experiences, and then with Mother Nature, and, maybe machines here one day. But the relationship is where it starts with yourself. And so, I don't know, it's a great day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be with someone else. It's cool.
I think it's a stupid day.
Yeah.
Honestly, sorry for all the women out there that love Valentine's Day. I think it's absolutely stupid. And I'll tell you why I think it's stupid. Because there are
This is so easy for this day for me is so easy. There's a lot of drama around this for a lot of people, but
because I come from the world where my dad says every day is your birthday.
Yeah.
Every day is Valentine's Day. Love everybody or who you want every day. Don't just wait for the one day to come home with flowers and cake and whatever and be like, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then you're treated like shit all the other days.
Yeah.
I think it's the stupidest day. I think the expectation of it is too much. I think women that are like, what are you going to do for me? And what are you going to buy me? And then their relationship is a piece of crap. I just think it's a bad day.
That's what I'm talking about, Lisa. Got us out there going to 7-Eleven buying chocolates and picking flowers out of people's rose bush and all that.
7-Eleven. That's the next level. That's so good. So if there's a gift exchange, you rarely will fall on a birthday or Christmas or Valentine's. If there's a gift exchange between us, it's
because we want it.
And hey,
and to do something nice.
I want to do something nice for you. And it just happens to be on a Tuesday in the middle of the
month.
Yes. And then this day rolls around and it's cool, happy Valentine's.
Yeah. I mean, a relationship really is a partnership. And I think every day you have to work on that partnership. And if that's, you have to put a dish away or you want to pick up Grayson, or it's a partnership, it's a give and take. So the one day that comes, I think it's stupid to,
And in that give and take bit is some things around the house that I do that I like to do. But maybe she likes to do those chores or those things as well.
I love it.
No, Whoa.
I'm joking.
I was about to say, you can always flip and flop and like it doesn't have to be traditional chores or roles. Like you can work them out and flip and flop them if you wanted to as well.
It's
Like
just
it doesn't.
a partnership.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure someone will say, oh, but it's a nice day to just take the moment to celebrate each other. And then I would say, but celebrate each other every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Be a kind person, be a loving person, be a supportive person every day. The both, not one more than the other, but like.
You think most people think that? Honestly, what you just said.
I don't know. I mean, this is
what
me.
Do you think? What do you think? Do most couples think that like every day? I can't imagine somebody saying, no, it's not every day. It's the one day. I mean, they would, of course, back your point.
I mean, 100% they back Lisa's point, but that heavy emphasis on that magnification of that day, because I that's why I said I'm in agreement with you, because I'm like, oh, so what am I supposed to do today? Do I extra clean the place? Do I buy you flowers? Do I make up for all the times that I did fail for umpteen? I mean, I can't do that in one day, right? So why are we having this? The pressure that it puts on us is a strange kind of pressure, because I've felt the Valentine's Day pressures, and I've been told, don't give me anything. I'm good. I don't want just another day. And I'm like, okay. and I don't do it. We're on the couch, and I feel the eyes burning through my temple. I'm like, oh man, I should have got some 7-Eleven chocolates.
Well, but that doesn't mean like ignore the situation.
Oh, here's the real story.
I got you, Lisa.
No,
you went for the bait.
No, listen. It's like, I love you and I love my life with you, and we're good together or whatever, because we just want a connection, right? And so when we get a present, that's a connection, right? That's like you guys thinking about us.
Yeah.
So if women feel like they don't have a partner, that piece of jewelry means something. My husband loves me because he went and brought me a bracelet.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of hollow.
Yeah.
It's one day, it's one present. I feel like every day you're working towards something.
If you were to go out
more.
with like some gals, you're at lunch or something, and it's the 14th or the 15th, the day after, and one of your gals goes, look at this bracelet, or oh my God, my house was covered with flowers, it was amazing. And then the next one says, oh, I got a car. And then the next one says, we planned the most beautiful relationship or this vacation. It was just so awesome. We leaned over the computer. And then this, Lisa, how about you?
I mean, you know what I'm going to say.
It's a fucking stupid. But like,
no, I would never
really
make someone feel bad. I would be like, that's awesome. That is amazing. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, I don't hold judgment for anybody or anything. Whatever their relationship is their deal. And I think that's awesome, because I'm not here to tell anybody how to live. For me, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I don't care what other people have. I don't care what other people get. I don't care where other people go. I live my life true to me, what I want, how I want to live, and who I want to live it with. Everything else is just noise.
I love that. I love that. And maybe we'd split the difference.
In what way?
Well, just an idea, Lisa. Don't chastise me for saying this. just give my little 2 cents. How about Mike presents you with a brand new Cartier watch and dinner to Nobu? Hold on, Mike. Hold on. And dinner to Nobu, and then you take it and you snatch and you say, this don't mean nothing.
I would never do that either.
I'm gonna put this on my wrist.
How did this work?
Every day we in love. Let's go to Nobu. But don't do this again, Mike.
Don't do this again. Right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take the Cartier watch, okay?
That's too funny. Yeah.
But just no pressure.
No pressure, Mike. No pressure.
No pressure. Right. Thank you for that setup.
I got you, Mike.
Now I know.
I told you.
Now I know.
No, O'Neal don't never come on the show again. So I'm gonna ask this question, but I want each of you to answer for the other person. So are there any hidden talents or skills or something that people wouldn't know about you, right? Like the hidden thing. Lisa, tell me about Mike's first. And one more thing. You got to be honest. Let me know if she's right, and vice versa.
Okay.
I have recently just said this to somebody, but Mike is really good. And I give him a hard time because I'm like, you must have done this for your mom as a young child. He is really good at hooking my necklaces and my bracelets.
Oh, Mike!
Like really good.
Okay. because you're wearing a pink shirt, I'll allow this to happen.
And so then he quickly says, no, Lisa, it's because I loved those model airplanes and I would work with little miniature pieces. But he's really good. When I can't do it, because I've got these nails, he's like, in 2 seconds, he's like, okay, you're snapped in.
So he's an expert necklace hooker.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I always find really, because he's got big thumbs.
Yeah.
They're flat, so I have lots of range on them. So there's like a larger surface. Yeah.
Okay, so Mike, is Lisa correct? And if so, how did you develop the ability?
It actually feels easy to kind of find those little hooks and do it. It does. I'm surprised that people would have a hard time with it.
I have
so how about that?
The most difficult time doing
You
that.
do.
So yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you guys have big hands, so it's just a funny thing.
You know what they say about big hands?
Oh, Jesus.
Big gloves. No?
Mike.
Yes.
That's so
different conversation.
Different conversation.
Yeah. So the thing about Lisa, I mean, we've talked about it, but I don't think that most people would know what you can do on a dance floor. Like I don't know if it's hidden, but it's not talked about or celebrated. And
it was a different life.
It was a different life.
Our people now don't know me as that.
Yeah, but like I got to see her dance on stage with some greats and to like legit world class dance.
Wow.
Jazz and ballet. And so like I think most people it feels hidden because
it was a lifetime ago.
It was a lifetime ago.
It was different.
Yeah. Oh, and I know you just went dancing recently.
I did.
With a friend.
Yeah.
Was it like there for you? Did it feel like the rust knocked off?
I was a little rusty, but
it was in there?
It's there.
It's there. Yeah.
I just would need a little bit of time.
So how many Shantays?
Shantae.
No,
Shantae.
What is it called when you're
yeah, like pirouettes.
No. When it's like
plie?
No, I'm more advanced than plies and pirouettes.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm blanking right now, but like one leg comes up, whips around, and you come down. The leg.
Oh, fouettes.
Fouette.
Yeah. It was like, how many?
Oh, God. So my dance mentor was Paula Morgan. And if you were a Paula Morgan dancer, you were a legit dancer.
Yeah.
Like I credit her for everything. And then I also
including
danced.
the abuse?
No, you know what?
You don't know, Mike, what it was like to have a 200-pound woman breaking your hips to make sure that you're like that type of.
Was it Black Swan type stuff?
Yeah, but she was old school. I mean, she was taught herself by the best, and yeah, it was a little hardcore, but so we would have to do
way ahead of her. Sorry,
way ahead of her time.
Like things that are happening in mobility work now, things that are happening in prehab and whatever. Like Paula Morgan, I was watching Lisa and Paula and her students do it in 1987. Stuff that like is kind of almost mainstream now. People are like, oh, let me show you this thing we're doing in mobility work. And it was like, so it's really cool when you can watch a true innovator and be around that innovation. They are easily 3 decades. She was easily 3 decades ahead of her time, which is really pretty cool. But anyway, sorry, interrupt.
Yeah, she was amazing. So we would have to do 30 fouettes in one sitting. And if we fall, we'd have to start again from the beginning.
30?
30.
Jesus. Yeah.
And so how long would practices be?
Well, in the summer, it was from 1 p.m. till 10:30 at night. And then
6 days a week?
6 days a week. On Saturdays, it was 9 a.m. to 3. And then during school, I would get out of school at 3, be there at 4, and be there till 10:30.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, professional athletes, as you know, the upper reach is 4.5 hours of movement a week. Ballet is a different deal. Jazz, ballet, dance.
We were triple threats. And if you throw in hip hop, that's 4, but we did it all.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because in like 1987, 88, are you familiar with Big Daddy Kane?
Yeah.
I used to be, Big Daddy Kane dancer.
Yeah.
Wait, you were?
Yeah, there was Scoop and Scrap Love, and then there was me, Dap Love. But no one ever saw me. No one ever saw me on camera because I would be in the background.
We need evidence.
That's just it.
We need some evidence.
There was a fire. And so all the evidence of me being Dap Love went down with it. So I don't really talk about it. You brought it out of me, Lisa.
God,
yes.
so
I appreciate you.
Okay.
So I dance, hip hop back. I don't
Did
do
you?
no more. Yeah, but I was the one who did the neck thing. And a lot of people do it, but I was the first person to do it. I was on set, and then I did it, and somebody saw me. They were like, I was like, you do it like this, and then it just went. It was on your MTV Raps.
Is this for real?
No, yeah. I'm a humble guy. I don't talk about stuff like that. When I watch it, I'm like, that's crazy. Because I don't need the accolades. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident in myself.
Okay,
you feel me?
cool.
So, yeah, I just want to throw that in there. So
Good man.
being that you're such an accomplished dancer, right? When you guys would go dancing, how was Mike? Was he intimidated by you? Was he like, yo, don't outdance me on the dance floor? Dance is slow.
Okay.
No, look, I don't know what you're going to say, but I just need to stand still. So feet stand planted.
Yeah.
Just kind of bounce to a little bit of the rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, kind of move your hands just a little bit, kind of keep them in close to the body a little bit. And the show is happening.
Okay, well,
The
you know what?
thing is happening.
I need to step in, though, because this is something people do not know. Mike was in a rap group.
Holy shit.
You should have never told me
Yes.
that. Let me
And it was Mike, Barry,
This is going to get edited.
and
This is all getting
who was
edited
the
out.
third?
James.
James. And the three of them had a record deal. They were called Eclipse. Okay.
2 black guys, 2 white guys.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, they had a record deal.
Yep. And they performed at like some Miss California, Teen California. They had a song. So
Just
he danced.
relax.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear the song.
No. It was this was a lifetime ago. Yeah.
It was. So that's something people will not know.
Okay.
This will all get edited,
James and
though.
Barry would know.
Yeah. This will all get edited. And Doyle.
this will all be good.
Yeah.
None of this will come out. None of it.
Yeah. Our producer Kevin Lake is co-writer in the book, has been dying to get some of this footage at some point.
I don't
my
know where it is.
God.
Yeah.
I love that. That's some complete
It's like
honesty.
on an 8-track somewhere.
Yeah. I want to hear it.
We've lived
8-track.
lots
They
of
don't have 8-track.
lifetimes.
Well, I mean, I'll take the 8-track and I'll convert it digitally. That's how important it is.
Yes. I don't even know what that
That's
stuff
pretty
is.
Oh, God. All right. So listen, if you were stuck on a desert island, right? What 3 items would each of you bring and why?
I think I should try to guess yours.
Well, SPF, 100%. I got to protect the skin.
She's been putting on like SPF since she was 15.
Yeah,
Like,
SPF.
It's pretty intense.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, you got to do water, right?
Water.
Got it. You need water. I mean,
Yes.
water, unless you got a filter, you know.
So we're saying water's already, spring water's there. So
Well,
okay, SPF,
there's always going to be spring water on
spring
desert
water's on
island.
the
Yeah,
island.
yeah.
Okay.
SPF.
I don't know. Those are weird questions.
I know.
You
Here's my question.
And Grayson.
and Grayson.
All right, we're good.
All right,
A little
good.
SPF.
Yes.
A little spring water.
And Grayson.
And Grayson.
You don't need not a TV, not a Netflix or nothing like that?
I know what you're going with your phone.
No,
No,
my
no,
phone. That's all I need.
Yeah, right,
But where's
yeah.
my phone, dude? I need my phone. I don't need anything else.
I never know how to answer this question.
I know.
Like,
Hopefully that never happens.
No, hopefully it never happens. But
Yeah.
if it does, I'm sure you'll get rescued. I'm so sure of it. Lisa, I want to ask you, if it's okay, I want to ask you about your vlog.
My vlog.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just. So I wanted just to do something creative.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of the fakery. And I'm just so tired of the contrived that I was like, I just want to be me and just put real out into the world.
I love every bit of it.
It's just that.
Yeah.
So it's just being creative, and I don't get to dance anymore, and I don't get to act anymore, and totally fine with that. But it's like I can do something else that kind of feeds that creativity. And then at the same time, it's like I'm just so tired of everything fake that it's just me. The vlog is basically my day-to-day, just how I see the world, how I want to get dressed, what I find interesting, what I find difficult. It's just bringing a sense of we can all have a well-lived life in an honest way and not have to fill our face or put on the extensions or pretend that we're something we're not, or it's just being real.
That's lovely. What's the name of it, if you don't mind me asking?
Me, it's Lisa Gervais. It's
Love it.
YouTube.
Love it. Okay.
and Instagram. So, I mean, it's no different, I don't think, than
There's only a handful of You just started.
I just
you're
started.
She's getting her bearings on it, which I like. It's cool. It's fun to watch you kind of
spend 3 hours editing for a 12-minute episode.
No. I can't.
I can't with this.
After talking to you today, I'm gonna be watching it. Is it once a week? Is it like what is it?
I try to release episodes on Wednesday, one on Sunday.
Okay, I'll be listening. After today, I'm gonna be listening.
Okay.
I love
Let's
the
go.
realness.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
you talk about being a high performance person a lot, right? What does it take to have a high performance relationship?
Cool question. It just starts in one place, which is honesty. That's something that is challenging to do, I think, because it's easier to take a shortcut. It's easier to, shift around a topic rather than like sit with it when it's hard. And so high performance relationships and high performing people begins with a commitment to honesty. And it allows you to drill down right into what the truth of something is and then wrestle at that place. Rather than stay up on the surface and get knocked around by the trade winds, you get down into the bedrock where it's really, cold sometimes, but it's so sturdy and it's so foundationally strong that if you're working, with honesty, you're working at a place of bedrock. And so, I don't know, that's where I'd start. And then I think all the other kind of tactics and skills are really important, like being a good listener, trying to understand what it's like to be the other person who's speaking or engaged in it with you.
Can I say something else that I think is really important? I think being aware of your own mortality, I think is really important because I feel like I could die tomorrow or he could die tomorrow or Grayson could die tomorrow. And I think how being connected to what's really important, which is us right now living, I think allows for that deep, great relationships, even when it's hard, even when like the moment is just like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated or I'm so unhappy or whatever the case is. If you go back to what you're grateful for and we could be not here tomorrow, I think you reevaluate your situation real fast.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the foundational principles, right? Like impermanence. And so she honestly works from impermanence. People throw the word around. It's one of the Zen principles, Buddhist idea as well. And every world religion has some idea of what happens next.
Yeah.
And the idea that fundamentally we're impermanent, she lives it every day. It's incredibly inspiring. And it doesn't come from a place, maybe, I don't know, at one point maybe it did. It doesn't feel like it now of like anxiety.
Yeah.
It's more like, look, we don't, sorry.
No, I was going to say there's a little bit of anxiety there. I'm working on just sitting with it and just knowing that that's the path that we all take. I get nervous because we have a son and I don't want him to feel that pain, but he will feel it at some point. So there is a little bit of anxiety there, but I think that if you come back to what's important, that eases it because you're right here, right now is okay. We're good. So you can live this moment and not get too ahead of it.
Real talk. I could talk to you guys for another hour. But I got to ask you one more question.
Thank you, O'Neill, for hosting this. Like when we got pitched this idea, we're like, oh God.
I was like, who wants to do
this
crap?
both of us were like, come on, and then they were banging around. There's like, what if O'Neill did it? And we're like, yeah, that sounds good. Because you bring a honesty to it. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So, thank you for navigating my anxiousness of this conversation.
No, I feel like we've grown closer.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for trusting me with your relationship. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
I love this. Man, I don't want to ask this question now. Because you think.
Come on now.
Oh, no, ask it.
Okay, all right.
Last question.
Last question. Last question.
Okay.
Do you guys still go through times where you love each other but don't like each other?
Mm-hmm. I'll let her go first.
I will say that he is the most important person in my life, him and Grayson. So regardless if I'm annoyed or he bugs me at times, usually it's because I'm going through something because he's still the same person that he always was.
Yeah.
So I will say, is it perfect all the time? Definitely not. Sometimes I'm like, why are you breathing like that? Like, stop breathing like that.
I've heard that before.
Yes.
Actually, when we're going through our heavy stuff
and
we're in that repair phase, but still in the heaviness, we're arguing about something. And she goes, can you just stop breathing right now.
Damn.
I was eating, and I was maybe eating too fast. And it was like, there's a sound to it. And so.
But that's on me. I'm going through something that I need to work out.
Yeah.
Because I will say, he's an amazing person. He's taught me so much. We have grown up together. And I mean, I honestly believe that for me, there is no better partner to be on this earth with.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Ditto.
And if God forbid, I say this all the time, if God forbid anything happens to him.
You're going to say this all the time to other people?
I say it. I'm like.
No,
that's a
bad joke.
If God forbid anything happens to him, do not come calling, because I am never, ever getting into another relationship.
Wow. Yo, that's the biggest shout out you could ever get. Wow.
Yeah.
So he must hold his breath when you tell him stop breathing. Like, Mom, Dad's faded again. Wow, that's amazing.
It's awesome. It's an incredible gift. And like the impermanence bit we were talking about, and then the interrelatedness is that we're all connected in some kind of weird way. Yeah. And so when you're able to feel that connection amongst each other and with everything that's living, and at the same time appreciate the space. And so if like we're arguing about something, and like maybe I'll hear from you, like, you're really bugging me right now. And I'm like, and so I'm at my best when I can be like, oh, that's cool. Like she's going through some shit, and am I triggering it? Yeah, I guess I am. Like, and then just create a little bit of space in it. It feels like it just is so much lighter.
Yeah, well, his response is, "What's wrong, Panda Bear?" And then he's like really bugging me. "What's wrong, Panda Bear?"
That's our code.
That's her name?
Yeah, but you hear that.
That's not her nickname.
Oh,
that's a code for like, Panda bears don't get rattled by shit, right? There's no predators for panda bears.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that
right,
before.
Yeah, so
that's right.
Come on, Panda Bear. Yeah, like, what could possibly get you going here?
Yes.
So like having a little bit of that playfulness is something I try to do. Yeah. This is the year of play for me, so I'm trying even more.
Okay, but I'd like to point out that he didn't say, "Don't come calling for him if something happens to me."
Yeah, why
See
you
that?
Do that? Why you ain't do that? I was thinking that. I'm glad you said. I was thinking.
You were not thinking that. You were not thinking that.
Whatever.
No, that's not something that I don't know what the future would hold. I love you dearly, and like I'm not interested in any other woman on the planet. So
boom. Nice, Mike. Nice save.
Whatever.
Trying to back you up on that. Okay, well, this wouldn't be an episode without a question from the audience. So I gotta put this question out here for you. Me with my professional voice now. Dr. Mike, I've been in a relationship for 7 years. We generally have a good dynamic. I love her so much as I did when we first met. But there is an area where I get tripped up. If she complains about something at work or with the kids or social life, I'm a very good listener, no problems. But if her complaint is directed at me, I have a much more difficult time with that. Something gets threatened because I feel the need to defend myself rather than just listening to her experience of me. I flip over to my experience and she gets frustrated, and so do I. How can I do this part of my relationship better? Is there a high performance approach? Thanks in advance, Dr. Mike.
It's cool. I mean, the answer is embedded in the question, which is it's the ability to not bring your shit into that moment. And anytime you're defending yourself, it is cool to say, what am I actually defending? So it's a question I really like. When I get riled about something and I feel like I need to defend myself, what am I actually defending here? My ego? My identity? Not really. It's not monetary. It's not physical. Like, what am I actually defending? It is my sense of self. And then you take another beat, like, wait, is this about me or is this about the other person? Is this about the intertwinement between the two of us? So all of that for me gives me space. So when Lisa, let's just flip it. Like if I'm agitated by something and I bark or I say something, like she's really good at it. She's like, whatever. And I was like, there's just no entanglement there. And so it's not, at least for us, it's not like, oh, I see you're upset. Can we talk about it? Do you want to talk about like Okay, it's not about me. I see you're agitated. That's okay. It's not that for us. It's more like just don't get tangled in it. And if the right call is a listen, try. Great. It's just a little bit of space and kind of as best as you can take your ego out of it. And I don't have like a crisp, clean answer of it, but it's the easiest way to describe it is not to get tangled. So what is that? Ask the question, like, what am I defending?
I really do believe that a great relationship really is bound by two strong individuals that know themselves separately. So my goal in a great relationship is to learn about myself as much as possible, to love myself, to know how I work through things, to understand me, because sometimes the emotional side of just throwing up everything and being a jerk happens.
Yeah.
And, Mike has done a lot of work on himself. So he can say, okay, whoa, back up.
I
and
back
then
up.
you
Not,
back
not
up.
saying to you back up.
Yeah, no, you back up and then you give the space. That's what you're talking about. But when you're in an emotional moment, it's difficult to have that insight. But if you've done the work in yourself and you are aware of what's happening and you can take a moment, it's much easier to untangle the messy. I think if you're just two people that are like trying to be right and one person you have to do your own self-work. You can't blame the other person for your shortcomings.
Yeah.
It's a better answer because what she pointed to is do the work so that when that moment arises, you are better equipped to manage that moment, to meet the moment. It is about the work. It's not about a easy solution in that moment. I think that's probably why I struggled with it. I do try to create space, but the way I practice creating space is through, contemplative practices like meditation and just being mindful of the space between each breath, the hello and goodbye to thoughts. For me, the 3 S's of mindfulness are really important: silence, space, and stillness. And so that if I'm better at being still, like saying, be grounded, be here, be right now, there's a stillness with that. And I'm better at creating space, and I'm better at being the silence to be able to listen, that when that moment rises up, like, oh, cool, this is another moment to practice. When I'm hangry, when I'm not practiced, when I'm tired, whatever it might be, I get sucked right into first person shooter too. First person driver is a better analogy. And if I can just create the space and almost float up from a drone perspective, but still not disassociate from the experience, still be in it warmly, but not be sucked into like, whoa, like sometimes I'll.
Yeah, I mean, we're not perfect. We have our moments.
Like,
where,
whoa, hold on, back up.
Yeah.
And then I know when I do that, the alpha lion here is not saying, yeah, you're right. Like automatically, like we're entangled. And so, I don't know, you're pointing to the right place, which is doing the work so that you're better able to meet the moment the way you would like to.
Yeah, but isn't that the key to life, to anything, to
Fitness,
everything?
health, spiritual, mental.
Right. It starts with what is it that you want? How do you want to do it? How do you want to go to that point?
It's the way we train Olympians. It's the way we do just about anything. You use your imagination in a radical way to think about the future in a compelling way. What type of person do you want to be in the relationships that you're in?
Yeah.
And when you get your imagination dialed into what that actually materially, fabrically feels like it's a tensile strength that you could touch it, like it's so crystal clear, then you can back in from it or back from that and go, well, what do I need to do to train so that I can be that person?
Yeah.
And that's accessible to everybody. All walks of life, all socioeconomic status, man, woman, that's available for all of us to search out, to seek out.
Yeah. That's the thing that we have inside of us already, the capability to do. That's so interesting because when you say it, it sounds so, okay, I should know that. But actually activating it, right? Making that practice is amazing. Lisa, Mike, this has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean that. No, I really do mean that.
I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad that you two trusted me enough to let me ask you these questions and just delve into a little bit of your relationship.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How was it for you?
It was good. I mean, whatever someone wants to know, I just try to answer it honestly.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is weird. Like it is hard to keep in mind. Like I love the intimacy of podcasts. The person who's listening, like we're right with you.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm listening to a podcast, like the person that I'm listening to, they're in my ears, literally, like it's so intimate. And so I love, like I haven't come to the places that you brought me in this conversation ever before in this way. So thank you for bringing me into those places. And you're a great leader in so many ways. So to me, it's really cool to be able to do this with you. And at the same time, there's NFL stadiums of people listening, which is like an amazing tension between the intimacy of not only the conversation here, but the intimacy of the one person listening, and then the magnitude of people that are tuning in. So thank you for all the compliments. Thank you for the way that you shared them today. And they're not really compliments. They're like the way that you see me. And that has been one of the greatest gifts. If there's anything that you can give to another person, the thing that I can pass forward from you is to really see them. And that gift is radical.
My dad taught me that.
Yeah.
Yes. And not that my mom didn't have her hand, but my mom gave me something different. My dad really gave me the gift to.
What'd your mom give you?
My mom gave me fire.
She's fire. Mom
she
is
gave,
pure
pure.
No fakery, all
no
realness.
fakery, fire.
Just a great bubbled energy as well.
Yeah.
And let's also be clear, Valentine's Day relationships is what we're talking about. In our relationship, we're working out all the shit that went sideways in our earlier life, in this relationship. And we're bringing in our family stuff. And our commitment to each other and to our son is to not repeat the traumas that we've been.
We're giving him other trauma.
Yeah, but just not to repeat them. We're making mistakes, but not to repeat the same ones that we've gone through. And trauma is a charged word, and it means so many things to many people. But you can say micro traumas or whatever, like whatever that lineage that your family holds. At some point, if you can make the commitment to say, I'm going to change that. I am going to fundamentally change the next generation, and I'm going to work it out with a great partner. Yeah. That's rad.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing. Thank you for helping me work it out.
I think episodes like this create that, right? That vulnerability that you show creates all that. I mean, sitting across from the two of you, I remember one time I was doing a podcast earlier with Mike, and I checked out. For a couple seconds, and he was like, "You're not even here with me right now, are you?" I was like, "Man, how'd you know that? Nobody even knows that." So the intimacy it's undeniable. Yeah. Like, I have to, we have to listen to each other, and it creates that forced honesty, which is so good. Listen, this has been a great, beautiful Valentine's episode of Finding Mastery with Michael and Lisa. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you guys
Thank you
for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.